You said Canada has a 7-1 KDA against the USA, you liar. You said Canada destroyed the USA in an Arctic accidental war. I said friendly fire incident. It's different, you know. So, here's the answer. While there has never been an accidental war between the United States and Canada in the Arctic, a friendly fire incident occurred during the joint Operation Cottage in the Aleutian Islands during World War II, and there have been various historical sovereignty disputes in the Arctic region. The only accidental conflict, or friendly fire incident, was really the closest event to an accidental war or conflict. That was a friendly fire incident during a joint military operation against Japanese forces, not each other in the Aleutian Islands, not the high Arctic, during World War II. Operation Cottage back in 1943 was when American and Canadian troops launched a joint invasion to retake the island of Kiska from the Japanese. The island, however, had already been secretly abandoned by Japanese forces. In the foggy conditions, an intense friendly fire incident occurred between the two Allied forces, resulting in 28 American and 4 Canadian deaths, with 50 wounded on either side. Now, when it comes to historical Arctic sovereignty disputes, the US and Canada have had disagreements over Arctic sovereignty, but these were resolved through diplomacy, not war. The Polaris Incident. So, in the mid-20th century, unauthorized American aerial photography and reconnaissance flights over the Canadian Arctic caused diplomatic tension, as Canada viewed these actions as a threat to its sovereignty. The dispute was resolved through negotiation, actually strengthening the defense relationship. The Northwest Passage has also been a long-standing issue, with Canada considering it internal waters and the US viewing it as an international strait. Disagreements have come up over things like the 1969 voyage of the US oil tanker SS Manhattan through the passage without formal Canadian permission. And then there's Fort Blunder, an early 19th century surveying error, led the US to construct Fort Montgomery on what was mistakenly believed to be American soil, but was actually in Canada. The fort was abandoned when the mistake was discovered, and the incident was resolved by the 1842 Webster-Ashburton Treaty, which clarified the border. Overall, the United States and Canada have a long history of close defense cooperation, particularly in the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD. Disputes have usually been handled diplomatically, with both countries sharing a strong interest in Arctic security against external threats, especially during and after the Cold War. So yes, basic math at use here. 28 divided by 4 equals 7. 7 is the number of fatalities incurred by one side, to everyone fatality on the other. This was mostly due to a lack of cold weather combat training, and that's really because of hemispheric location. Canada has, repeatedly supported United States interests, especially when it comes to defense and security through organizations like NORAD, NATO, and intelligence sharing. The idea here is that continental defense is really viewed as a mutual responsibility, though, honestly, whether Canada needs to do this is kind of subjective, since these efforts align with our shared security goals. This is pretty clear in joint operations during the First and Second World Wars, Korea, Afghanistan, and all those Cold War collaborations. Plus, there's significant economic integration, which really showcases how deep and intertwined our interests are. It's not just about one-sided aid. When you look at key areas of Canadian support for United States interests, it comes down to continental defense. So, through organizations like NORAD, Canada shares responsibility for North American air and maritime defense. That's a mutual interest in security. And then, in global conflicts, Canadian forces have fought alongside the United States in major conflicts, including both world wars, the Korean War, the Gulf War, and the war in Afghanistan, often defending those shared values. When we look at intelligence and security, the Five Eyes Alliance, which includes the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, provides really critical intelligence sharing. It's a deeply integrated security partnership. On the economic and defense industry side, agreements like the Defense Production Sharing Arrangement have fostered joint defense procurement, which ends up benefiting both economies. Now, about that idea of not needing to, well, it's honestly pretty complex. Many actions, like NORAD, actually stem from a shared belief that continental security is vital for the sovereignty of both nations, not just a United States concern. The fate of Canada and the United States is really intertwined. The close economic and geographic ties mean that, honestly, threats to one often impact the other, making cooperation a strategic necessity. When it comes to shared values, support in global conflicts is often framed as defending common, democratic values, which is definitely a shared national interest. If we look at historical examples, during the War of 1812, while the United States invaded Canada, Canadian forces successfully defended their territory. That was a pretty defining moment in their separate identities. During the Cold War, cooperation on continental defense was absolutely paramount for both nations. After September 11th, Canada's significant role in Afghanistan from 2001 to 2014 was a direct response to the United States being attacked. In essence, while Canada's support is consistent, it's always framed within a relationship where shared security and strategic interests often align, making it a partnership rather than just one-sided assistance. Thanks for listening.